Hey there, and welcome to Let's Talk Local. I'm your host, Sarah Subiata Bennett. Today, we're continuing our special series where we sit down with the people hoping to represent you on the City Council. In this episode, I'm talking with Ernest Banda, who's stepping up to the race against incumbent Paula Blackmon for District 9. He calls himself a common sense man with common sense solutions. And once you hear the story behind why he started to run, I think you'll agree it's something every Dallas resident can connect with. So go ahead, mark those calendars. Early voting runs from April 22nd to the 29th, and Election Day is May 3rd. However you vote, just make sure your voice is part of the conversation. And hey, if you're enjoying these interviews, show us some love, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps more locals find the show. All right, let's dive in. Here's my chat with Ernest Banda. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And you're sitting here with me today representing the
District 9.
The constituents of District 9. Can you tell me and I guess some of our viewers and listeners what about District 9 has spoken to your heart in a way that's invited you to have this desire to run for City Council?
Well, growing up in District 9,
Yeah.
back in 69,
Mm-hmm.
we had the best Spanish Galleon restaurant there at the corner of Northwest Highway and Abrams.
Okay.
And then Medallion Center had the movie theaters opening up, and their first showing was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And just the neighborhoods were great.
Yeah.
I mean, I know on the north side of Northwest Highway, it's a lot of woods and stuff back then.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And so, and I had my godmother come out and visit, and he had a wild side at his age, had a motorcycle, so he had to go take a ride. My mom wouldn't let me go because she wasn't sure about his, anyway. So yeah, it's the beauty. I mean, we have what I call the Central Park feature, as in White Rock. I mean, as a Cub Scout and all that, we would go and walk the trails for the badges and so forth, and do all that kind of stuff. And it's beautiful. I mean,
It is.
Well, there's some things that could be
Sure,
improved,
of course.
as everything
Of
else.
course, yes.
Infrastructure as we all age,
Yep.
right? But yeah, the people have been great. You have your naysayers once in a while,
Of course.
because I don't want to be racist, but some of them, we were like the first ones in the neighborhood.
Oh,
So,
okay. Latino.
Yes. So sometimes we were kind of frowned upon, and but overall, the rest of the community, like when we moved in over there off of Abrams, my next door neighbor, Miss Edwards, she was great, and she used to love asking me questions and invite me to. Well, I noticed she would be cutting, and I'd just go cut the yard,
Aw.
So she and I kind of had a bond, and she was a white older lady, but she was great. She was great. But yeah, overall, I live in a great neighborhood.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
I hear so many beautiful things, and I spend some time out there, a good bit, I guess, at this point. I used to spend more before I had kids. So I know that you're, like I said, representing this particular district. I have to get this clear. So many people have told me, no, he goes by Ernie. No, it's Ernesto. No, it's Ernest. Do you go by Ernest, Ernesto, or Ernie Banda?
No, Ernie. I noticed that when you texted me.
Yes.
I said, I know where she got that from.
Do you know the lady?
No.
Okay, well,
I'm thinking it's the male.
No.
Okay.
No. I've heard someone say
it's either Ernest or Ernesto. I mean,
Ernesto, yes.
Yeah,
I've
that's
been told by two people.
When we moved
so I'm
back,
like, I don't know.
When we moved back down here, I mean, I went to it's still there, the school on Singleton Boulevard, and I can't think of the intersection offhand, but St. Mary's of Carmel, I think it is.
Okay.
And it's right across from a little hamburger stand on the other corner. But anyway, that's where I had started my pre-kindergarten and stuff, and I only spoke Spanish because my folks and my family So, as time goes on, when you're in the school, you assimilate
That's right.
to be able to go ahead and.
Did your parents work with you on eliminating your accent?
I really couldn't say, to be honest with
No,
you.
mine
I
did.
can tell you,
Mine
though.
did.
Well, the reason why probably not, because even before my mom passed away, because my dad passed away first, when my mom passed away, she goes, "Hey, can you go ahead and move that chair over?" And I said,
Share. Oh,
I look around and going, "Can you point to that chair for me?" Are we talking about the singer or the chair?
Yeah. I love that.
I tease her.
Of course.
That's how I learned a lot from my parents, especially my mom. She's a very, very smart lady.
I love that.
Very, very bold.
Your district is one of my favorite.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
really
why
is.
I've been there for,
For
all
decades.
this time.
For decades.
Exactly.
And so it's interesting to me because as a professional in the food space, the consumer business space, I know you volunteered a lot considerably. And how in the world is it now that you've told yourself, I am now ready to place myself out there and serve in this capacity?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's because of the fact that there's certain things in what's going on around the areas that are trying to make that change, and it's gotten a little bit deteriorated. And I like it to be brought back as it were when I first moved in that area.
Yep.
Where you could feel, safe just to walk to the nearest store or whatever,
Yes.
or bike wherever you want without anybody coming and trying to say, "Hey, give me that bike," or whatever the case may be. I mean, I've had that a couple of times happen, walking the trail, back by the railroad track, the train. And of course it happened to be a homeless person. But yeah, I mean, at that time, since I worked in the industries that I have, I knew what to act in a certain way to where they know that just to back off.
Of course.
But I'm fortunate to have that. A lot of people, when they have the confrontation like that, they don't know sometimes how to react.
That's
and
right.
So that's how they get taken advantage of.
It's so true.
But that's what I want to get back to, having that safe feel, being either walking or biking wherever you want to go, visiting the nearest stores, because there's been a lot of change outs, like we talked about, restaurants and so forth.
Yep.
I know, industry needs to grow, but you also have to have that public safety feel too, to be able to do that, to where people want to come around that area. And that's what I think about.
Yes, be an active participant in creating what you grew up with.
Exactly.
Because it's changed tremendously. And so I just kind of like to find out that turning point for each person that I sit with respect to anyone who's running in the May 3rd election, because it's critical. It's
Yes.
critical. And how do you believe that you'll be able to have a different movement, if you will, with your constituents and for your constituents versus Paula Blackmon, who's had that seat since 2019?
Well, I believe in talking with a lot of people, public safety is one of the big issues that they're concerned with, like we were just
It's the
talking
main
about.
issue. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I've read and I've heard from a lot of people that she's gone against that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now I can't understand why that kind of thinking would be, because of the fact that how are you going to bring in businesses, when they hear, this or that happened, or how are you going to bring in customers to those businesses that are trying to make it right now? I mean, I've heard also about people, I don't like going to the city around that area because of the fact that, there's somebody's, I'm afraid to get mugged or
That's
whatever.
right.
And I'm thinking, okay, so why are you trying to not increase the level of police officers that we need, not only in our district, but across the whole city, period? I was talking sometimes when I don't know if you're going to get this. Sometimes I wake up and I can't sleep, so I go outside and pray.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hear gunshots coming from the south end of the city. And I'm thinking, I hope nobody's getting injured.
Mm-hmm.
Please, that's not needed. I mean, it sounds like they're shooting it in the air, but don't know. I'm not there. You know, that's why it's needed for additional officers that we need to be out there to help. Of course, training needs to be involved.
Of course.
Vetted as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bringing in additional officers is definitely needed right now.
Okay, well, it seems like you have a wealth of experience, especially experience that involves really serving people in some capacity.
Right.
You have a heart for it, a mind for it. And is there anything else that you want to add to kind of help paint a better picture about who you are, what you stand for, that we haven't potentially covered in this conversation?
When I say I'm going to let you do something or hear you or you ask of me, yes, I'll make every effort to make that happen all the way around. I'll put my ear for you. If it's a good stand, I will stand with you and try to bring back the best solutions that we can where it's not monetary.
Yep, I get it. I get it. And I appreciate you saying that and sharing it because it's, I think, just something that needs to happen in general across our world. But it's easier said than done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
With the fast pace of the world that we live in today.
Yes, exactly.
But I thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you on the 15th when we're there. And you will have, two familiar faces. I appreciate you being here with me. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for making it here. I don't know how long it took, but thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ernest. You too.